What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Real Estate Uncensored. I am your illustrious co-host, Matt Johnson. I've got the Junior Grandmaster, Greg McDaniels, with me today. We've also got a very special guest, Aaron Ryan, and we are talking about how to build an inside sales machine. We're going to get into some fun stuff. Aaron runs multiple offices all across the country, has tried really anything and everything to grow a real estate business, especially in a way that is sustainable. And God knows we need it here in 2020 because it seems like the entire world is dead set on making sure that if you run a small business, you shall not any longer, but we will not give in. So first of all, before I bring in Aaron, Greg McDaniel, firmly ensconced in the co-pilot seat where you so belong. What's up today?
I'm doing well, my friend. You know, Aaron and I and you, the three of us have been ranting behind the scenes, having a lot of laughs, talking about how to take over the world and burn other parts down and, you know, just kind of where we want to land in life. And it was actually an incredibly fun conversation. I'm coming into this thing extraordinarily tired. I've been up since 4 something this morning, and I started to take a nap prior to this show because my energy wasn't there. But Aaron, I got to tell you, my friend, with your attitude and your energy, you brought me right up to speed. Matt, not you so much, but it's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
Matt's here for looks. I think I made that perfect. Matt's here for looks. We're bringing the talent today, Greg.
That's right. I'm just a prop. I'm the Vanna White of the real estate world.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so Aaron, give us the 2-minute overview where you're at, and how many offices. Give us a brief idea of where the offices are at, and just what your role is now in the company. That you're more managing offices rather than still in production. What does your role look like?
So currently, if you look at Oregon and Washington on a map, we cover the entire states of Oregon and Washington. So we have little satellite offices throughout each state: Seattle, Spokane, Tri-Cities, all through Oregon. Idaho, we have two offices over in Idaho. Most recently, we expanded in I think probably 2018, we expanded over to the East Coast. So we opened 3 offices in Florida, 3 in South Carolina, 2 in North Carolina. And then this year we opened our first office in the great state of Utah over in Salt Lake City. We opened in Scottsdale, Arizona, Dallas, Texas, and Houston, Texas.
Awesome.
Well, Aaron, remember, you can never say Idaho, okay? It's not Idaho, it's Idaho, where it's called Mattaho. I mean, we got to distinguish how that verbiage comes.
Yeah, we do. Absolutely.
All right, and Aaron, just to clarify, when you say you're expanding and you're opening offices and stuff like that, unlike kind of in the KW world where that means you're putting an agent into someone else's market center, you're talking about real deal. There's office space. There's agents. You know what I'm saying? Like you're talking about more traditional expansion.
We're actually really doing it. Yeah, we have agents that work for us full time, and we have physical office space, and they work 100% for us. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So, when we go into a market, we hire agents, we hire, any administrative staff that we need. So it's the full deal.
And real quick, just why did you choose to go that route when like you had the option? You could have moved your entire team over to KW. You could have gone to EXP. You could have done a whole bunch of different things. Why did you choose to expand that way?
Well, I've been there, done that with KW, right? So I was at KW for years. Looked at EXP, got a lot of really good friends that are over at EXP, have nothing bad to say about the model. It makes a lot of sense, for what I do from a business perspective to be at EXP, to be honest with you guys. Mm-hmm. But, I think that being able to grow an asset that you can own, sell, right, have an exit strategy with that's more than stock or revenue share was the ultimate goal.
So what about the EXP model and the KW model? Why did you move away from the KW model?
Well, I'll be 100% transparent with it. I left KW because I didn't get along with the owner of the office. We had a little run-in. She had some of her family members running the actual office staff, and I was either I was probably the largest agent by volume or the second largest. So I had a lot of interaction with that staff, and we just had a blow up one day. And, it was more mutual. It wasn't just my decision. It was more mutual that it was time for me to take my show on the road. And that's when we went independent.
That's awesome. You know, it comes to that point in my past brokerage. I had a similar conversation, let's put it that way, with an individual in my brokerage, and it was evident at that point. It's like, you know what, we're just not good fits anymore. And that's what I respect the shit out of you for, because it's not the fact that you left in a tiff. You made a logical decision, and you said, you know what, for me, my family, my business, my future, and everything else, I'm just going to go my own way. And a lot of people don't do that. A lot of people are afraid of doing something like that because, Lord Almighty, I mean, if you leave your brokerage, whatever color, brand, or logo that is, it's going to end your identity. But in your mind, you're like, no, you're not my identity. I'm my identity.
Yeah.
And you went and took it and did it your own thing. And let me ask you one thing, and then I'll let Matt jump in, because I see his feet starting to sweat over there because he's interested to jump in to ask questions. When you made that shift, what did it do for your business? Did it grow, shrink, or stay the same?
So, you know, we had about a 30-day period where it just kind of stayed the same. You know, clients didn't care. They bought me, they bought our agents, they bought our staff. You know, I always had an independent office outside of the KW office. So I didn't have to go get new space, phones, any of that. So I had it all set up. So it was just a matter of notifying the state, getting the MLS access, you know, switching out my signs, and I was good to go. Right. So for me, when I was at KW and, you know, the company I was at before that, the company only represented a small portion of any of the marketing I did anyway, right? Their logo was small in the corner, and that's what it was. And so it was all about me anyway. So, you know, ever since I left KW, I mean, our business took off and skyrocketed, whether that's because of KW or, you know, being independent, you know, who really knows, but, you know, it's been great ever since.
Dude, you make me laugh. And why I giggled there so hard is because my dad, I've been with my father, he's been an agent for 50 years, 49 going on 50 years, right?
Wow.
A broker in 3 different states. Like, he's legit OG status, right?
Yeah.
And we in all of our business cards, we owned all of our own phone numbers, own emails, like nothing was corporate that we ever utilized. We were a business in a box, we pick up and move. And we would always make our business cards, until the state of California changed their laws. We would put our broker's logo as small as humanly readable in the corner, and everything like what you do is all about you. And I think it's absolutely genius, because it allows you to be autonomous. It allows you to go out there and just live and do what you do, and let people buy you, not buy the brand, because you are the brand. When you walk around as a very handsome man that you are, you are the brand.
That. Yeah.
You took the title of the most good-looking man on the show. Matt, sorry, buddy. You got a show, brother.
I know. Been dethroned.
I've been trying to compete with him for years.
I'll settle for the silver medal, I assume.
Man.
I assume I've still beat Greg, so at least I have that I can cling to.
Hey!
I mean, granted, when Greg stands on the dais next to me, he's so tall that he's probably still my height, even though he's down like 6 inches below me on the dais.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, being 6'5", 240 pounds is pretty hard to be small.
Got to give you shit for that. Oh my God, that was hilarious. Okay, so Aaron, let's dive into the sales machine part of it, because you've got 15 folks, and you just acquired space that you've got room to expand to, what do you say, 53 inside sales agents?
51.
So obviously this is part of, like, this is not only working for you, but you feel like it's kind of it's part of the key to the future expansion. So what role does the ISA play in your kind of ecosystem of how you guys generate leads? What are they doing? And then we'll get into just the mechanics of like how to hold them accountable and stuff like that. But what is just the individual person that's on that team? What are they doing day to day?
They're pounding the phone, right? So we control all the data. We get the data into the dialing system. You know, we have them all on automated dialers. It's a big call center, and they're making a piece 600 to 700 calls a day, just pounding on new leads, old leads, different lists that we've created. And that's literally their job. Their job is just to call an appointment set all day. The average inside sales agent right now will get somewhere between 6 to 8 appointments a day. And and it's, I'll tell you, it is the most profitable piece of marketing that I do in my business, above radio, above print. I mean, I'm trying to think of anything else that is more, mail. You know, it's been absolutely the one of the pinnacles of our business.
So you're doing 6 to 8 leads per ISA. You have room for 51 ISAs. I don't know what that math is, but that's a lot of fucking numbers and a lot of fucking appointments. I mean, have you guys?
So you got to remember
350 to 400 leads a day.
So one thing I will say to you, Greg, is
scale.
you got to remember, you got to give yourself a little bit of a cushion, right? When you run this model, you understand, right? So about anywhere from about 25 to 29% of those leads are going to be cancels, reschedules, or no-shows. Okay. So then you got the 70% on top. So then you got your 70%, right? Then you're going to go to those. Some of them you're not going to be able to get down on price. Some of them are not going to put their home on the market right away. Some of them you'll list right on the spot. Some of them you're going to be on the be back bus to get back out there and try to close them later. So, you know, when you look at the number, you look at the gross, it looks like there's just a ton of stuff, you know, that's coming in the door. But when you get down to it and you understand kind of the percentages and you track that, you understand, okay, it kind of gets broken down just right off the top. You take out 25 to 30% for, you know, kind of BS and you know, and then you're working with the other 70%.
And what's like, do you guys have, I'm sure it varies a little bit per lead, but I just want to make sure when you say an appointment, you're talking about the agent going out at a set time to that person's house or meeting up with them, or that person stopping into the office if they're a buyer or something like that. That's exactly what it is. And if we're talking about a listing, it's with the expectation that is a listing appointment, or is there a lower bar where there's like an analysis meeting or anything like that?
We are very upfront about why we're coming out to meet people.
Gotcha.
We've tried all the things. We've tried the for sale by owner. Hey, we're just going to swing by, you know, to check out your house in case we have a buyer, you know, all that, you know, Greg, I mean, you practice too, right? It's all the bullshit, right? We cut out all the bullshit, and this is a set appointment. We're coming to you. You need to have 45 minutes to an hour carved out of your day, and we're going to come down and sit and talk to you about listing your home.
Cool. The thing I love about that the most is that I think, especially in 2020 and beyond, people are just over bullshit. And they're just like, tell me exactly what you want from me. And you're like, I want to list your house. Okay, cool. Or no, I'm not going to do that. Not a problem. Either way, binary answers, yes, no, cool, no matter what.
Yep.
And they respect you for that because you're not trying to bamboozle them or sell them some snake oil. It's like going on a date. You know exactly what you want at the end of that date, right?
Yeah.
And that's a good friendship. Okay.
There it is.
That's a good friendship.
There it is.
If you guys can't see this, Matt is dying laughing over
I just, you guys together is just ridiculous. Good Lord. If we ever get, like the three of us ever get together in the same city and have a drink, it will be disaster for the rest of humankind. They're going to kick us out,
number one, for not wearing masks.
Absolutely.
Greg will probably assault them.
Correct. Yeah, exactly. Greg
me
will
and
punch
Matt
someone.
will run out the door. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Great.
Okay, so real quick, just let's go back to kind of how this started, because it makes sense. It makes sense at scale. Like once you're at the point where you just like, hey, we've got the systems down. We're just going to plug somebody new into it. You've got like your training systems down, all this stuff. But take me back to when you, like, what stage were you at where you hired your first ISA? Were they taking over directly for you, or were you a little bit further along by that point? Like, walk me through just like how you first dipped your toe into those waters.
Yeah. So I was a prospecting machine, right? So you got to remember, I started in the business in 2008.
Okay.
And for 08 to 2011, 2012, I was a prospecting machine. Like, I was dedicated to the craft. It was get to the office every day by 7. By 7:30, I was warming up. By 8 o'clock, I was jamming on the phone. And I was setting my own listing appointments. And pretty soon I set so many listing appointments that I couldn't be at the office some days to prospect. So I decided, I was like, there's got to be a better way to do this. So I actually hired one ISA and had her sit next to me for a week listening to my calls. Pretty soon she started setting, 6, 7, 8 appointments a day. And so I basically went from me, a buyer's agent, one person processing my paperwork, and then I had this ISA, and I was in the office and I was out of the office at appointments and all this other stuff, to pretty soon I was just out of the office all the time. This person was just keeping me so busy that I needed to hire another agent to have them take appointments, because we were producing so much that I couldn't do them all in an 8-hour day. And so hired another listing. It just snowballed. You kind of get the drift. It just snowballed on top of each other.
Yeah, because that's the, like lots of people have experimented with that. They've gone down the path, and of course, every agent would love to have someone just set appointments for them. That's the dream. What do you think was different about? Because obviously you did it yourself, but there's all kinds of agents that can do it themselves. They can prospect, but then they can't find a way to reproduce themselves. They bring somebody in and they have them shadow them and stuff like that, but they don't really pick up the skill set. They find the appointments are super low quality, like just all those problems that you hear about. Is there anything that you've been able to put your finger on that was different about maybe the way that you trained that gal, or something about her and why she hit the ground running so quickly?
Yeah. So prior to my career in real estate, I owned a financial services company that I built. I had a 300-person call center that literally pounded out appointments for my sales guys out in the field, right? To meet with business owners and that sort of a thing. So I use the same principles and the same training, just more on a micro level, because I only had one person. And I really focused on setting the expectation with her, right? She knew what her benchmarks were to have a successful day. That's the majority of the people that are out there. They just want to know what number do they need to hit in order to be successful for that day. I taught her how to teach her the business from the ground up, because she wasn't, experienced. And then I just taught her the scripts. I had a very, even for as small as it was, I had a very organized system to do it, right? And so I was very diligent about teaching her exactly what I said, how I would say it, the rebuttals I would use, how to close somebody, how to option close. Really, I taught her not just real estate, but I made her a really good salesperson.
Let's look at that a little bit. I mean, when you're working with an ISA, a lot of the times, and I'm extraordinarily guilty of this, by the way, I'm not a good manager. So is that something you're just naturally good at, managing, or is it something you were just driven to do because you're like, I got to change my life, I want to get something somewhere different, so on and so forth? Walk us through that a little bit, because a lot of people that are going to be listening are going to say like, well, I'd like to do this, that, or another thing, and I hear Aaron, this is what he's saying, and I'm just going to do this because it sounds super simple. Was it super simple, or was it not?
Nothing is super simple in real estate, right?
True.
It was a lot of work. I think that naturally I'm probably a pretty good leader. I'm not the guy that has to stand up on my desk and call myself the leader to get people to follow me. It's more of a natural thing. So for me, from the management, from the management perspective, it's kind of a natural thing a little bit. I think some of us have it, some of us don't. One of my biggest complaints about the real estate business is one of the previous companies that I worked at, they want to put everybody in a position of leadership just because they're good at selling real estate. And they really shouldn't be a manager because they don't know or don't have the skill set in order to run a team or manage a team or manage brokers or manage agents. And it's diluting the quality of the agents who are out there, servicing the public. Sure. And so for me, I take it seriously, right? So now, I have a very systematized way of taking people from no knowledge to fully trained in a week, right? So I have corporate trainers, I have systems, we have training videos, we have a training room, we have an academy that we put everybody through where I can take somebody from very, very little knowledge of real estate to get them fully functioning in about 5 days.
Holy shit. Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Okay. I'm glad I asked that question. Okay,
but it definitely comes from building up. Like, you had call center experience before. So there's a lot of there's just a lot of deep knowledge, because I've worked in call centers before, and, back in my previous career, like insurance and stuff like that. And yeah, there's things that you don't know unless you're steeped in the business. And you understand how to bring people in, how to immediately tell if somebody's going to be good on the phones, how to get them into training quickly, and all that stuff. So it's just interesting that I think there's a lot of people out there, whether you decide to build something like this or not, like, you essentially found a way to bring your past experience into real estate, capitalize on it to do something really well that you could leverage in your real estate career. And there's a lot of people out there that have some background skills in other areas that they're just completely ignoring because they're just trying to follow what other people are doing. Yep. So I even just like when you kind of zoom out a little bit beyond just the mechanics of should you hire an ISA or build a team or whatever like that, there's just, I think one of the biggest lessons you can take away is just look at your background, look at the skills that you built in other areas, and chances are there's some way to leverage it in your real estate career to do something unique and different that other people can't do.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing about the ISA model is I was doing it before it became popular, right? Mm-hmm. And so actually the first KW office I was at, the principal broker did not like the inside sales model. She didn't understand it. She didn't get it. She didn't understand why I wasn't the one pounding the phone. And believe it or not, they didn't want me there either because of that inside sales model. Yeah.
People
there's something that's weird. Yeah, there's definitely a weird thing. Like real estate is such an old business and in certain areas such an old-fashioned business that I do run into people, and I've run into this in other areas too, where if you're not the one doing everything, it's like you're cheating. Yeah. It's like they lose respect for it. It's like, no, I'm an entrepreneur and this is my job is to replace myself and then to go do something more lucrative and then find a way to replace myself there. Jerry Jones is not pumping his own oil wells in Texas just because it's, he's in the business, right? Yeah. I mean, it's so anti-entrepreneurial thinking. It's amazing that real estate got away with being that way for as long as we have. But anyway.
Wait a minute. You're telling me Jerry doesn't pump his own shit?
No, he's too busy screwing up my Cowboys. He's got work. He's got work.
You saying you're a Dallas fan?
Oh, I know. It's a shame. I have so many issues, Aaron. So many. I've got like a sweater on. I order decaf and coconut milk in my coffee. I like the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, there's so many problems that I have as a human being. So many areas where I need to be straightened out.
Aaron, it's okay. At least there's two of us versus him. We're okay.
I know. That's the only reason I feel good about this, like I'm not being attacked, is because there's two of us on him. So I feel good about it.
All right, Aaron, what's the best way besides, I'll talk about your podcast in a second, but if somebody wants to just connect with you, kind of get into your world, learn more about your brokerage, stuff like that, what's the best place to go?
Oh, email is always the best for me. So Rian@thebrokeragerealtors.com. That's my personal email, so they can email me there. They can find me on Facebook, Aaron Ryan. Ryan is spelled with an I, so Aaron Ryan. Other than that, those are probably the two best ways to reach me.
Cool. And then for the podcast, so our production company is helping you out with that. We launched it. We're coming up with what I would call season 2. So you've had some ridiculously amazing people in season 1, like Chris Heller, and there was a whole bunch of, we had a whole insane lineup of people like Margaret Crispillo, Jeff Quinton, Greg Harrelson, like holy cow. So you've got some of the biggest heavy hitters in the entire industry. Most of these are your friends that we're able to bring onto the show. I know Greg Harrelson's going to be back again. We've got Jay Kinder coming on. We've got Adam Roach is coming on. We've got a whole bunch of people slated. So guys, go and subscribe right now. It's called Expand, Dominate, and Profit. So you can look it up on Apple Podcasts, grab it on Spotify, and when the new episodes start dropping again, you'll get them automatically. And then if you want to get on the email list for that, I know we're going to send this out to everyone that's kind of in the real estate uncensored world, but if you want to get the emails for Aaron's show as well, just shoot us back an email. I know we'll be doing like a special email promotional mailing for Aaron's podcast and stuff like that, but just know, so like there's a way, just let me know, even if you have to reach out to me on Facebook, but if you want to like stay in the know on Aaron's podcast and you want on the email list to get the latest episodes, just reach out to me, shoot me an email, and we'll make sure to get you on the list. All right.
So that being said, it's expand, dominate, and
profit.
The most important part.
My dyslexic ass said prosper, not profit. Okay, there we go. That's why I
don't implant that. Don't implant that in people's mind. Expand, dominate, and profit. Okay. So, gentlemen, shall we choose a lovely color that we can tie around the bow to wrap around this episode?
Well, that's your job, man.
I know, it is my job.
You need to pick a color.
I'm going to go with the best. Oh, man, there's so many things I could say here. Let's just go with the red bow. How about that? Okay. In honor of probably the state that Aaron will end up living in. let's put it that way. It's a red bow. Let's tie that right up around this episode.
Perfect. Okay. I'm down with it. Red bows are one of my favorite bows. I mean, I couldn't get more of a favorite bow than a red bow. Yeah. And I actually just, Aaron, I just subscribed to your podcast. Cannot wait to start listening and, sitting at your feet and learning from the master.
Oh, wow. I don't know about that, but I appreciate the kind words.
There it is, guys. There's our show. We truly appreciate it. We have a red bow on this show. Please go to anywhere you guys listen to podcasts. Make sure you give us a 5-star down to 2-star rating on that. It helps the algorithms kind of get us and push us out to more people. Mention Aaron in any of the mentions that you have for us.
Yeah. Thank him for his time, contribution to the show, coming on as a guest for free. Yeah, these are guys that are very, very busy, very successful. So make sure to leave them a review and mention Aaron in the review and thank him for coming out and being on a guest.
100%. And as always, guys, we know we can't do this without you. We love you to the deepest parts of our heart. Matt has a little piece of coal for a heart, but I have a big throbbing heart, and I love every one of you guys. And until next time, peace out, ninjas. We're gone.